my first days in yeshiva, and I remember thinking to myself, I will never be ready to be a rabbi. There's no way I'll ever be able to amass the amount of knowledge, learn the skills, feel properly prepared. Looking back at that 5 years later, I think that was a fair attitude then, because there's still so much more to know, so much more knowledge to amass, but I feel prepared. I feel like I've gained so much, not only from textbooks, but from my interaction with my classmates and with the faculty, the rabbis, the entire faculty, my internships. It's been an incredibly well-rounded learning experience.
In terms of the most broad-minded thing, in terms of the what I felt really sort of showed the breadth and scope of the points of intersection that we can have with the things that we study here. Sort of one of those very far-reaching pieces of material came from the Rosh Yeshiva, was a brilliant academic piece on the study of Midrash Halacha. And he recommended that to me because he knew my interests and who I was.
I have enjoyed my time here, specifically because it has been a challenging place. I felt challenged here constantly, even when I did not want to be challenged. I would not have wanted to be in a place that would not have challenged me, both my mind, emotions, and spirituality.
One of my favorite parts about Chovevei Torah is the chairs. The chairs are fantastic. They're some of the best chairs I have sat in ever. They're supportive, they are strong, some have armrests and some don't. And in a sense, to me, that's a little bit of a metaphor of the yeshiva. It's a supportive frame, it's a comfortable presence, and it surrounds us and takes care of us. Armrests are the chevra on different sides, the frame of the faculty, the curriculum, and a shared vision of service of the Jewish people.
I think back to the time when Southern California, just a couple years ago, was literally ablaze with flames, arching all over the coastline and across the whole region. I turned to Rabbi Weiss and I said, Rabbi Weiss, as someone who's from San Diego, I feel I need to be there. And he said, go. Just go. And then I said to him, I don't know what I'm going to do there. I have no contact necessarily within different social action agencies and different resources. And he said, go and you'll find what to do. And in typical Rabbi Weiss fashion, he was correct. And I, along with other students at Chovevei, we went down to San Diego and we spent a powerful week there, volunteering from the hills all the way down to the border with Mexico, from working with undocumented immigrants to people who were on heights of affluence, who had literally lost everything they owned, from their most valuable possessions to mementos of personal keepsakes that have been their families for generations. I understood what Rabbi Weiss always teaches us about spiritual activism and spiritual leadership and what it means to be a rabbi in this 21st century.
We went as a yeshiva to a spirituality retreat hosted by Rabbi Ben David. And it was great getting away as a yeshiva. We all it was rustic, we all stayed in cabins with our sleeping bags. We got up at Netz HaChama and we davened as the sun was rising. And there was just incredible group bonding going on. Looking back, I remember being in a group with Yonah Berman and Yonatan Cohen and Rabbi Linter. As a first-year student, being just so touched and being so humbled by the openness and sensitivity of my classmates and Rosh Yeshiva. And just having an open discussion was just so meaningful.
That I really appreciate that the yeshiva has afforded me has been our class trip down to New Orleans and Biloxi, Mississippi. December 2005, first we started out half a week in Biloxi, Mississippi, helping repair homes and the like, and also helping the people down there. And the latter half of the week we went over to New Orleans, Louisiana, and we worked with the Federation there to help what was the rebuilding efforts going on down there. It really helped me get a sense of doing Kiddush Hashem down there, which is something that within the walls of the Beit Midrash we don't necessarily usually get. But it was a great experience developing the Chaverschaft outside of the yeshiva with the guys.
Jill and I got married in Chicago, and so we couldn't celebrate with everyone at the yeshiva. And it wasn't until several months later that Jill was actually able to come to New York and visit the yeshiva and meet everyone. The wonderful thing about it was that the guys at the yeshiva really made us feel as though we had just gotten married, and it was a big celebration with singing and dancing, and we hadn't really planned on doing that, but it was a kind of a spontaneous thing that the guys at the yeshiva did in order to extend our celebration and help us have our celebration really be part of the yeshiva and have the yeshiva be part of our celebration.
Yeshiva is headed by a visionary man with a passion for teaching us Torah and a sensitivity to see us individually. Dov Linzer, the Rosh Yeshiva, is an impressive leader. Not that he needs my approval. He guides his yeshiva striving to create amazing, well-rounded rabbis. How many Rosh Yeshiva do you know specifically incorporate Chaver building activities into the busy schedule? Or who play center field or wide receiver with the guys half his age? Rav Linzer has been a model for me and many others in this yeshiva for passion, sensitivity, and group building.
So on my first day of yeshiva ever, Rabbi Katz comes over to me and says, "Hey, why don't you try learning with this guy? This guy's name is Maurice." On the first day of yeshiva, I learned with Maurice, and I've been learning with him every day since then. It's a pretty amazing thing to have a chavruta who you stick with and who challenges you and that you hope that you sort of work with well. And I think in some ways that's sort of a model for my experience in yeshiva in general, which is just guys supporting each other here and challenging each other. It's never been just like supporting you with a pat on the back, just that. Although people are really encouraging, but people also giving you really honesty and their honest feedback and help, sharing ideas with you and really helping you become a better person. There's always been this feeling with guys who have graduated years ahead of me, the guys who were here, who graduated the first year I was here, and the guys who just came in this year, who I know will be graduating in a few years. There's still always been this environment of support for each other and honesty.
Ruthie Simon, who started with us, actually, started with my Mechina class in her time here, and really in every way, in everything that she's done, whether it's from scheduling events to making sure we have the most fitting of placements, she has been there, and every time we've come to her, she has blocked out anything else that she had to do to have an experience for us at that moment, to be helpful at that moment.
I recall my first Talmud shir here, after having learned Talmud in an academic setting. There was a big conflict between me and Rabbi Katz. It pushed me to open up once again to a yeshivish style of learning Talmud. I thank God that he pushed me, because now when I approach Talmud, various other things, I now have the ability to see things, both from the traditional point of view, academic points of view, and also different ways of looking at things that I've learned from other members of the faculty and my peers.
The way people handle themselves, how they pass each other in the halls, how they make a point to, even the Rebbeim, how even within their own structure, find it important to attend the shmooze, attend relevant shiurim. When I've seen teachers who have made mistakes, as we all do, really take that time to gain apology from others, to really go and ask for mechila in a serious and meaningful way.
Everyone here, the students, the administration, the Rebbeim, they're all interested in seeing the students become the best version of themselves. They're not trying to turn any individual here into who they think they should be or some preset mold. They honor and value the guys for who they are, and their ultimate interest is in seeing each and every single one of us become the best version of ourselves. I don't know if you can say that about any other place.
just the variety of speakers, in a sense that the yeshiva really aims to be connected to meaningful community work and institutions all around the world, hearing from Rebbeim and Yeshivot in Eretz Yisrael, heads of so many institutions, Orthodox and non-Orthodox, different faiths that are thinking critically about religious life and the life of Am Yisrael.
We're connecting to each other spiritually and we're learning, but there's also a spirit of openness and also closeness that our Rebbeim are sharing with us and teaching us and guiding us. We're learning from our friends and our colleagues, but open and supportive.
It's remarkable that a yeshiva that is so established is still willing to listen and accommodate the many different needs of its students. When there was a desire by the guys to have a Daf Yomi Chabura, the yeshiva fully supported it, making room in the schedule and even providing a breakfast incentive for participation.
Yeah.